Hi, Maria here. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to do a video that is not perfume related, but rather beauty related. I have been getting so many questions about how I get my glowy skin, what products I use, what makeup I use, all of that kind of stuff. So I'm going to share with you my skincare routine for what it is, and also the base layer of foundations that I use, so that you know what's going on here on the face and how I get my glow. But before we get started, if you haven't subscribed, just go ahead and hit that button. Join the weird, wonderful family. It would be amazing to have you part of the community, and let's get into this. I've done a video like this in the past, and I can't emphasize enough, when you see someone on YouTube, you are seeing them with optimal lighting. So the lighting is perfect, it's nice and bright, and it really, really does hide imperfections. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't take care of my skin. I'm 54 years young, and yeah, I think I look pretty good. I've got a little bit of wrinklage going on there, but I am going to take the cameras down so that you can see my skin in lower light. So you see, now I happen to be very, very white, like practically see-through. You can see the, like my veins, like you can see them really quite easily. I'm very, very, very white, very fair. And as a result, the lights do kind of bounce off the skin and make me look a little more luminescent than probably normally. So I'm going to show you with lower light. And I want to show you in real time. I got to find my buttons. Okay, so here's the light coming down. So that's on really low light on my two lights that are center. If I start to turn this light down, my ring light, then you get to see me in more natural light. So as you can see, I got wrinkles going on. I've got texture in my skin. You're starting to see a little bit of age here. So this is actual natural lighting. So I still am fairly glowy, but definitely less glowy than with the lights turned up. Now I'm going to turn the lights back on. Okay, so that shows you kind of where the skin is at. Obviously the lights really do create reflectiveness on the skin. But I thought I would share with you my nighttime routine. My daytime routine is even more simple, and all the products are affordable. So the first thing that I do, I use a micellar water. I didn't bring that out, but I just use the Garnier micellar water for sensitive skin on my eyes to take off my eyeshadow, and in particular the mascara. Then I go in with Palmer's Cocoa Butter Formula Skin Therapy Cleansing Oil, super cheap. I just started using kind of this routine over the past 6 months. So this I use religiously every night to remove kind of the base of the makeup. I double cleanse. So then I go in with Neutrogena Hydra Boost with hyaluronic acid hydrating gel cleanser. I put that all over the face. Massage it in, and so do a double cleanse. Now, the one thing that I do use that I love, I used to use a Clarisonic, and now I have this PMD. So I just use the brush side, and I massage the oil in with that, rinse it off, massage the cleansing gel in with this, and this has been a huge game changer. I think that the Clarisonic, because of the brush, was actually agitating my sensitive skin. So using this combo with this, I prefer using something like this over just my hands, because I feel like it gives my skin a cleanse and a bit of a light massage. So I really enjoy using this. So that's what I do to cleanse my skin at night. And then I will use this Paula's Choice 2% BHA liquid exfoliant. I don't use a cotton pad because one of you actually suggested that I don't use cotton pads because it can actually be abrasive on the skin. I put a little bit of this on my finger and just kind of massage it onto my skin. I used to use this a lot more often. I haven't been using it as often, like maybe twice a week, maybe. But I could use it all the time. I just have very, very dry skin. So sometimes I find this can be a little drying, although this is way less drying than other exfoliant salicylic acid toners. So really enjoy that. Then the cream that I'm using that I learned about from Bethany Frankel, and I thought I would give it a try, and it's a ride or die for me. I absolutely love it, is the L'Oreal Paris Midnight Cream. Now this is relatively affordable. It's a really beautiful, rich cream. I use it morning and night. So at night I use it, put it all over my face. I use it under my eyes. So I'm not using an under eye cream, although I kind of would like to get one, but I've been a little bit cheap lately, so haven't been using one. I find that this moisturizes under my eyes pretty good. So this is what I've been using. And then I have two oils that I use on my face. First of all is the Ordinary Rosehip Seed Oil. And I use this on, I don't put it under my eyes, but I use it on my cheeks, on my nose, chin, lips, like this whole section of my face down gets the rosehip oil after the moisturizing cream. And then this is just full of castor oil, and I use the castor oil on my forehead because that's where I'm seeing the majority of the lines. I haven't found that it's dissipated my lines in any capacity. I don't have tons, but they are there. To me, that's part of aging. But I do find that it keeps my skin very moisturized. So that's what I do for the nighttime. Now in the morning, I was just washing my face with a washcloth, that's it, and then using my moisturizer. But what I found was that it wasn't actually taking the oil off. So then my makeup application wasn't as great. So I just use a tiny bit of that and wash my face. I don't use this thing, whatever this is called. I just use my hands and then wash my face, and then I put the midnight cream back on. And that is it. I know everyone's really big on using sunscreen, and people hate if someone doesn't use sunscreen. I do not use sunscreen. I'm not opposed to it. I just found that it was really greasy, and I'm not in the sun that much. So if I am going out in the sun or I'm going to be outside a lot, I'll put it on. Otherwise, it's kind of just another product that you're putting on, and for me, I just can't justify it. And like even when I'm out in the sun, I usually have a hat or stay in the shade because I am so fair. So I don't have sun damage on my face. I have wrinkles, but no like damage or discoloration to my face. Yeah, so I know that everyone loves sunscreen, and by all means always use it, but I just don't. I'm not, if I find a really good product, I may start using it, but I haven't at this point. So that is it as far as skincare. I've used serums, I've used hyaluronic acid, I've used all sorts of different types of serums, and honestly, I never saw any difference. So for me, I'm like, I haven't found a product that's been fantastic that I go, wow, this is amazing. So I just never ever buy them. Like I'll try it, vitamin C serums, all sorts of things like that. And then I'm just like, it doesn't make a difference. This midnight cream, this made a difference. This cream was the first cream that I found really got my skin hydrated. Now, the one thing that I will say is that I used to have very large pores throughout my nose. Like they were huge. I had a lot of pores in here, a lot of pores in here, and my pores have significantly lessened, like gotten way, way smaller. Like I can't even believe my nose. Before, it was like walking on the moon. My nose was like a big, huge crater section. Like like I'd have to use a pore filler because the craters in my nose were so big that the foundation would just sit in them, and it looked like dots of foundation all over. Like seriously, I just thought it was disgusting. Now I don't have that in my nose. Like my nose is amazing. And I know it's directly correlated to when I started using oil. So as soon as I started putting oil on my face, within no time at all, the pores in my nose shrunk. So that's something to consider. The only thing that I notice is that right in here, and you can see the foundation kind of collects in here, it's actually really, really dry. So I've been trying to work out what to do there. I think I just need to do a bit more exfoliation. but it's usually really, really dry in there. So I try to get the oil right in there because it's so dry. So that's all I do for skincare. Now, the other thing that makes my skin, I think, look as glowy as it does is the products that I've been using. So I'm going to share with you quickly kind of my foundation routine. Foundation that I've been using consistently since February. Hessie, my good friend, she gave me Haus Labs TRICLONE Skin Tech Foundation. This is in the shade 60 Fair Warm. Now, it's crazy that this is considered warm because it's got quite a pink undertone. I really struggle with finding a foundation that doesn't go yellow on me. So this is a fantastic foundation. What I love about it, it's really expensive. Like, it's like 69 bucks. I used drugstore foundations for absolutely ever because, and I tried like really expensive ones. Like, I had one that was from Guerlain, really liked it, but nothing that was so much better than a drugstore foundation that I wanted to spend that kind of money until this one. So this foundation is an absolute game changer. It's very thin, but very pigmented. So I don't even need a full pump. The pumps are small, and I need about 1/2 to 3/4 of a pump to do my whole entire face. So this, I've still got like 2/3 of a bottle, and I use it almost every day since February. So this is a fantastic value for money, in my opinion. And I just absolutely love the coverage. I put it on and I feel like it stays really nicely throughout the whole entire day. So this is the foundation I use. And then as far as like concealer, I've been using the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. I think it's in the lightest shade, but I will leave everything that I'm using will be linked down below for you if you're interested. I'll have Canadian and US links for you guys. I'm sorry I don't do the rest of the world. It just has a bit too much, so I just do North America. If you really need a link and can't find one and you're somewhere else, please let me know and I can try find you one. But anyway, use the Camo Concealer. I like the fact that it's got great coverage, but it's still hydrating, so I use this. As far as tools are concerned, I always used a beauty blender, but I use these BEAKY blenders. They're super affordable. Like, you get 5 or 8 for like 15 bucks or something like that. They're a little more dense than a beauty blender, but I actually love them. They're a little bit bigger. And they're so much more affordable. So some of them are really dense and it feels like you're punching yourself in the face. This one is not like that. So once you get the water on it, it's actually really quite squishy and soft. So I don't feel like I'm punching myself. And then not too long ago, I switched over to a brush for my foundation. So it's just one of these kind of brushes that's flat on top. This is a Morphe V100. I have been loving this. And then I just have this little tiny brush that I use. It's just a cheap one from Walmart, but it works really good for just putting on the concealer. So I put foundation on my hand. I use this for my foundation. Then I put my concealer on my hand and I dip it in apply it on the apply it with the brush, and then I blend it in with the beauty blender. So my beauty blender has definitely taken a second stage to this main brush for the rest of my foundation, and I just use this for concealer. As far as a setting powder is concerned, I use the Laurier translucent setting powder. I've used other ones in the past. I'm not fussy about my powders as long as it's super fine and translucent. That's what I use, and I use as little as possible. So I want to put a little bit, but usually what I do is take my brush and I'll stamp it out on my hand so I don't have much product, and then I just push the powder into my face with the brush. So that's it there. I'm going to just talk about finishing powders and highlighters. The one thing that is not good is if your highlighter is darker than your skin. I see so many girls and it looks like a stripe here because their highlighter is too dark for them. So and the other thing is that I don't want to accentuate texture. So I'm very strategic with my highlighter. I put it here, I put it on the tip of my nose, I put it on my Cupid's bow, and I put it right there. That's it. I don't put any on my forehead because I'm 54 and I've got fine lines and wrinkles, and the powder just settles into that and accentuates the lines. So I only put it where I want a little bit of glossiness. The 3 highlighters that I love, it's a loose highlighter from Jaclyn Cosmetics, which I don't think exists anymore in Extra. So this one is super kind of white. This one is an old Estee Lauder eyeshadow, and it's basically platinum, like kind of silver. It's called Cyber Ice Cyber Metallic in the shade 20. I don't know if it exists. If it does, I'll link it down below. But I just had it for years and never wore it as a shadow, and then thought it would be perfect for a highlighter. And then I have OFRA Cosmetics. The color is Plastic. And again, I believe this is an eyeshadow. Yeah, it's an eyeshadow. It's rare that I can find highlighters that are light enough for me because I am so fair. So these are what I use. Now, I never use these last products when I'm filming because otherwise I literally look like a disco ball. Like, I'm glowy enough, right? But when I'm not doing camera stuff with the bright lights, I use the HOURGLASS ambient lighting powder, and I use the one in Ethereal Light. Because I'm so fair, the white color really works for me. It doesn't leave a white cast at all. The other one that I have used, but it's just slightly dark, it still works fine, is Diffused Light. And that's a little bit lighter. So that's the color difference of the two. This is definitely more yellow. So depending, I use one or the other, but usually I use this. And this is expensive. Like, these are like 65 bucks, I think. But I've had mine for several years and I have yet to hit pan. Like, they last forever because you're not using tons of it. For the ambient lighting powder, I don't use it as a highlighter. I put it all over my face. The idea behind the ambient lighting powders is that they've got light reflective particles in them. So when you put it all over your face, the light catches it and it just looks glowy. So that's another thing that you can use. That is it. Those are the products that I use. The ride or dies for me as far as the skincare is all the products that I'm using right now. Like the oil, love it. I love the cleansing gel from Neutrogena. I love that midnight cream from L'Oreal. That was the game changer. And then using oil on my face makes a huge difference. So that's what I'm using. What are you using? I honestly, I think skincare is cool, but I find it a little intimidating. So if you guys know of some fantastic game-changing products, please leave them in the comments. Again, my routine is just my routine. Everybody's is different, and experiment and do what works for you. If you have something that's been working really well, though, please leave it in the comments. And other than that, I hope you have an amazing week, and we'll talk to you soon.
Hi, Maria here. Welcome to my channel. Just love it when my hairstand sticks to my lipstick. You start to see the wrinkles here, the lines. So,
Wrinkly old bitch.
If you want to be on my channel, you've got to show yourself.
No, I just want to call you a wrinkly old bitch.